Kayleigh Swift. I'm one of the property directors here at NB Property Law. Today I thought I'd take you through, in terms of commercial and retail leases, some of the 7 most important clauses in those leases. So the first one to think about is rental consideration. So when entering into a lease for the retail or commercial premises, you want to think about what is the rent that you're going to be paying. So often this amount is plus GST, and depending on the lease itself, it can be either inclusive or exclusive of the outgoings. The next main clause is a security deposit. So the landlord wants to know that they can ensure that the tenant is actually going to pay the rent when due and payable. The security deposit is often 3 to 6 months of rent and can be paid by a cash bond or a security deposit, which is a bank guarantee. Another main lease term is the actual term of the lease. So how long are you wanting to enter into the lease for? So this can be range for depending on each tenant, but sometimes it might be a 3-year lease or it could be a 5-year lease. And then you can often have what's called option periods. So an option period allows the tenant to extend the lease beyond the original term for a further term, or it could be 2 option periods. So you may have, for example, an initial 3-year lease and then 2 option periods of a further 3 years each. Now this is at the discretion of the tenant to take up these option periods. However, for the landlord, they can refuse the option period if the tenant is in breach of the lease. One of the other main clauses in leases are the outgoings. So outgoings include various expenses that the landlord is responsible for paying that they on-charge to the tenant. So outgoings, for example, could be things such as rates, water charges, land tax. If the property is part of a body corporate, it could be the body corporate levies and those sorts of things. Now another main lease term is the assignment and subleasing clause. Now assignment basically allows a tenant to assign the whole lease, whatever term is remaining on it, to another tenant to take over that lease. For the landlord, they need to ensure that the incoming tenant is financially sound, so of a similar nature and situation to what the current tenant's in. Then the other option is your subleasing. So subleasing is a different term altogether. So basically subleasing allows the tenant to sublease a certain section of the premises to another tenant for that period of the lease. The landlord still has to provide consent for that sublease to take place, but ultimately they'll be paying rent to the I suppose the main tenant in the premises that's currently leasing the whole of the premises from the landlord. Now the last clause I'm going to talk about is maintenance and repairs. So when entering into a retail or commercial lease, you want to be aware of who is responsible for maintaining and repairing certain things. So obviously maintenance is the responsibility generally of the tenant, but anything fair wear and tear, the landlord will be responsible for. Anything generally that is structural repair is up to the landlord as well. So I suppose there are some of the 7 main clauses that you'll see in retail or commercial leases. If you have any other questions, then please contact us. We're here at NB Property Law. Thank you.